Terrible, terrible news, everyone. It seems they got him. It seems they got the guy who assassinated the United Healthcare, I think it was called, CEO. They got him. Presumably. They think it's this guy, Luigi Mangione. There's a whole, like, track of how they apparently found him. They supposedly found his bag at one point that had, like, Monopoly money in it. I think they positively identified the gun. And by the way, I think I was right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I not say that I think it will be that the gun he used was a 9mm Glock that was probably a proper Glock that he bought, like an actual real Glock made by the Austrian company, with a 3D printed suppressor, and it jammed, and that was him unjamming it. Wasn't I, like, basically correct on every point with my prediction? That wasn't him. They think it was him all along. If you see Luigi at the scene, remember, no, you didn't. No. Luigi was at my house, dude. Like, it's crazy. All the way across the country in Washington was at my house playing Luigi's Mansion with me. And I will testify that he was there all night. Could not have been in Manhattan. Crazy, right? Crazy how I can how I can definitely confirm that. Anyway, unfortunately, it seems they got him. He was at a McDonald's. Apparently, he went to McDonald's. An employee there, some old-ass lady, I bet, or some old-ass man, some boomer, ended up reporting him to the police because they recognized him. But apparently, he might not end up getting the money. Like, the snitch might not end up getting the promised 80 grand reward for people who gave, like, information on where to find him. Non-binary boomer? Is using they to refer to someone always in reference to a non-binary person? I had no idea.
Breaking news, the alleged CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, denied bail, as many people are sympathizing with him online tonight. The book Delay, Deny, Defend, which is about the health insurance industry.
That was written with AI. There's no way. Wait, when was this released? There's no way. When was it released? Hold on.
Breaking news, the alleged CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, denied bail, as many people are...
Yeah, he's been denied bail, of course.
...sympathizing with him online tonight. The book Delay, Deny, Defend, which is about the health insurance industry's tactics, jumping to number 2 on Amazon's nonfiction bestsellers list. Number 2. Safe to say, that book would never have been anywhere near number 2 if it were not for Luigi Mangione.
Okay, maybe he was quoting the book. Okay, so it came out like a long time ago, and he was quoting it with the carvings on the rounds. I was thinking that this book came out following this whole thing, and with that speed, it would have to be an AI-generated book, which is really common. And not talking shit, but the design on the cover here is not super in detail. It seems like it could be the kind of thing that was quickly pumped out with AI, popped off on Amazon. There's tons of fake books on Amazon that are made with AI. Notably, by the way, one of the most dangerous fake AI-generated books that are sold and sometimes go pretty high up on the list when you search on Amazon are AI-generated foraging guides that include mushrooms. These are AI-generated descriptions, images, and advice about mushrooms and what to pick and where and everything. And yes, people have gotten hurt because of them. In fact, some of the books are so blatant about being written with AI, some of the paragraphs in them end with the prompt thing that, like, all AIs respond with like, message me again if you would like to know more. Imagine you're reading, like, a foraging guide, and at the end of, like, the AI-generated explanation of what mushrooms will poison you and which ones won't, it says, message me again if you would like to know more. Because they were so lazy, it's that much of a copy-paste of what the AI said. These foraging guides and fake AI-generated books have been a big problem on Amazon, on the marketplace, and that's why I jumped to that, for those that don't know or think I was being deranged by assuming that or something.
Those three words, delay, deny, defend, were almost identical to the ones found on shell casings near the crime scene. And on Yelp, the McDonald's, where he was apprehended, has been hit with a flood of one-star reviews, calling the employees, quote, snitches and rats.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, Americans don't like the insurance industry. What can I tell you? Like, everyone hates it. This is what you have to realize, is that, yes, the fundamental reasons why the left fights, the things the left is fighting for, are by far the most popular ideas in our society. But the right is trying to appropriate it from us. They're trying to claim that they're the ones who are pro-working class. And they're literally trying to pull what the Nazis did, where they used populist, borderline socialist, or even outright socialist rhetoric to gain the support of the people. And then they actively demonize socialism. They actively demonize progressivism and pro-worker movements and kill them. It's what the right is doing. The same thing that the literal National Socialist Party of Nazi Germany, oh my God, Germany did. I can't speak today.
Jason Carroll is out front.
This Ivy League hottie named Luigi is the Robin Hood that we never knew that we needed.
I listened to Luigi's manifesto this morning 3 times and I cried.
Isn't it crazy that we got a new Unabomber before we got GTA 6? Like, you know that, like, we're going to be hearing the quote and, like, memes referencing this guy the same way that we still hear the Industrial Revolution, and it's like we're gonna be hearing that for a long time, I think.
Honestly, it's beautiful, and I agree with him.
At least he left a very powerful message, and he highlighted how terrible the healthcare system is in America. I think he'll go down as a hero in history.
He had been a named suspect for less than 48 hours, and yet, within a fraction of that time, many...
The right has John Krasinski. We've got Luigi.
in the world of social media had already made up their minds about Luigi Mangione.
I'm just eating it up because this is like regular everyday person becoming our hero, our vigilante.
These types of comments...
I wonder if this is going to make, like, progressives more pro-gun. I wonder if, like, a lot of liberals and progressives who are in favor of this guy are going to be like, you know, maybe the American people should be armed. Maybe disarming the American people is kind of cringe. Because, like, without the guns, how do you do something based like this?
It's angering law enforcement and public officials.
I don't care your views about healthcare companies, because I don't think they're great right now either. But
liberals' anti-gun beliefs dissipating as soon as they see someone they don't like get shot. Real.
But you do not celebrate the assassination of another human being who was just doing his job.
He was just doing his job as CEO of the multi-billion-dollar healthcare company. You don't do that. You don't. I love that I love that they're trying to moralize about it, you know? Like they are trying so hard to be like, this is such a problem that the American people are in favor of this. Why are the American people in favor of this? Are the American people just insane, like, bloodthirsty monsters who want, like, to see CEOs die just because jealousy? Or do you think it's maybe because that political policy of we want healthcare that we hear constantly on the left and right, like MAGA and the super Dems, like super Democrat people, all want free healthcare. Everyone wants free healthcare at this point. It really does seem that way now. Everyone wants free healthcare, or at the very least wants cheaper healthcare, or to not be denied on their claims, or to be told they have a pre-existing condition so they're not going to have any coverage for whatever, like, medicine they need, or surgery they need to get, or care they're going to need, potentially long-term. Obviously, there is a problem here, and it's not the millions of Americans cheering on this murder. Clearly, these millions of Americans had a reason for it, and maybe that should be the point of conversation. Not this weird, like, these people are insane. This is literally what's been losing Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh support. And we're going to do a whole segment on that later as well. But,
But interest in Mangione just continues to grow. On X, before his arrest announcement, he had just 64 followers. Now, more than 320,000 and counting. His initial 827 followers on Instagram grew exponentially Monday as we watched. By 3 o'clock, more than 32,000. An hour later, 53,000. By 5 o'clock Monday, more than 71,000 followers before that account was suspended.
listen, do you think Trump will try to people please and pardon this guy? I genuinely think it would be a possibly winning battle to protest this guy's pardoning. No, you don't think Trump would? I feel like Trump, then again, does he need to people please once he's gotten in for a second term? It's hard to say. I feel like Trump is like nonsensical enough that he might do it with how recent this news is going to be when he takes office and how much like even MAGA loves this guy, you know? This guy is going to be treated like a hero in prison. Yeah, actually though. No, but really though. But actually though, he is going to be very popular in prison. For one, he never had anything to worry about. Bro's yoked. He can absolutely hold his command and defend himself and command respect. There are like scrawny, nerdy guys who do just fine in prison. He definitely would have done fine. But he's not just going to do fine. He's going to thrive. Because all the people in prison are going to know what he's there for. You know they will. In prison, they're always watching the news because that's the only way to learn anything that's going on in the outside world. So when there's some crazy shit going on like this, apparently in prisons, all the inmates are glued to the TVs as often as they can be when there's some big national headline going around that the world is talking about, because it helps them to feel connected to the outside world and like they're not like left behind. And so you know that like the entire US prison system has been following this story and no doubt loving this guy. And when he shows up in prison, he is going to show up and receive applause. I guarantee that shit. Yeah, this guy's going to be popular.
Many of the comments calling for his freedom and calling him a hero.
Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 and
they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard, dude. You know, I do think that this like powder keg of anti-establishment sentiment reaching what seems to be a fever pitch right as Trump's about to take office could be setting the cultural stage for a very long 4 years of the whole country just ripping Trump's administration a new one. We'll see.
McDonald's.
That McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where a worker spotted the 26-year-old eating and called 911 Monday, targeted by Mangione's supporters.
What am I going to do? I'm going to stop eating at McDonald's.
It got so bad,
Yeah.
Google had to remove reviews after that location was flooded with negative comments. Someone hung a banner above I-83 with the words "Deny, Defend, Oppose, Healthcare for All," a reference to bullet casings left at the crime scene. Amazon pulled...
who is this made for, you know? Like, what, who... Oh, of course, Amazon pulled the book down. That's crazy. Bezos is like, get this out of here, get this out of here. I do not want them coming after me next, bro. He had them take the book down. That's crazy. Oh, Bezos is scared. Bezos, this is actually just, like, hysterical. Like, actually hysterical. Who are you doing the virtue signaling about how this guy's not a hero to? All of America disagrees. Are you making these statements for, like, the other millionaires and billionaires? Because the rest of the 99.9% of America is watching this and rolling their eyes and cringing. Like, who is this rhetoric for? It's not convincing anyone.
apparel and home goods featuring the phrase. Online, Mangione may be a folk hero to some, but offline and in person, no shortage of those condemning him.
Healthcare is a mess in this country, but to celebrate somebody's death is sickening.
The people in these higher positions, like CEOs, they need to look at themselves and their company and ask themselves, why are people so ready to condemn us? Why are they so willing to call someone who supposedly killed another human being a hero?
Well,
the people they found who are like critical of it are like, yeah, but also our insurance, the situation with insurance and healthcare in America is fucked, and also these CEOs need to look at themselves and wonder why Americans are cheering for this. They all, even the people who disagree with it, are like, yeah, but it's happening for a reason though. Yeah. Oh man, what's been crazy is seeing libs and conservatives, leftists and alt-righters hugging it out in comment sections over their mutual hate of CNN, MSNBC, Daily Wire, all these outlets, left and right, if you want to call MSNBC and CNN really left, but, you know, in America they are. Like, both of them are mutually getting shit on by all the normal people on all political sides, because we all pretty much unanimously agree that moralizing about how this guy was such an awful person, how could anyone do this? Nobody's on that wavelength of this like weird moral like concern trolling is all I know how to call it. It's concern trolling. CNN's ratings are plummeting. They have been, and they're gonna plummet more from this, yeah.
Some suspect support for Mangione is not all about rage against healthcare, but instead something far more subjective and superficial.
It's the halo effect, like, manifesting in real society.
You really?
Like, I truly believe so. Like, people treat people who are attractive, like, way differently.
People are, like, giving him leeway with this because they are fans.
I think there is some level of that, like him being a good guy, but no. We didn't know what he even looked like before when he was being celebrated. Like, the second that the video came out, all we had was a dude in a hoodie with his, like, back of his head to a camera shooting at a dude in the back. Like, we did not know. In hindsight, it's easy to say, oh, well, people just like him because he's good looking. But we didn't know what he looked like until they found him, supposedly, which was just a day and a half ago. This guy's been the hero since. Granted, there was like a CCTV image that came out like 2 days after, where you could kind of see his like face and that he had like a good jawline and stuff. So maybe like there is that. But like, no, people were already cheering for this guy before we ever got a peek at his face.
Fantasizing him a little bit, but I don't think violence should ever be the answer, no matter the circumstance.
Aaron, this could just end up being one of those cases that just ends up capturing the attention of the American people for a period of time. I mean, you look at what's happening right now on eBay at less checks, still selling merch related to this case. And the hashtag Free Luigi Mangione is something that's still trending even at this hour. Aaron.
Incredible. Jason, thank you very much. It was fascinating just to hear from all of those people. RJ Martin is back with me now. He's the owner of Surf Break Honolulu, HNL, a co-living community in Honolulu where he lived with and was good friends with Luigi Mangione, the suspected.
I'm really glad that this story is kind of setting the standard that, like, Americans are totally fine with murder if the person deserves it. You know? I won't say he didn't deserve it, and I won't say he deserves it. But if the American people think that someone deserves it, they're totally fine with someone getting gunned down in the street, okay? Like, this is a wake-up call for everyone, I think. I don't think America's on the edge of revolution or anything like that, but the fact that Americans have been driven to the point where they will cheer on a CEO getting gunned down in the street, that's very different than the last time a CEO was held at gunpoint in the street. Very different. The world was at the edge of their seats hoping the CEO didn't die in the dead man's line situation. Fast forward to 2024, CEO gets his brains blown out in the streets of Manhattan, and the country celebrates. What's the difference between murder and protecting the future? There's not really, like, they can be the same thing. Like, they can be the same. Like, what he did was objectively murder. Like, objectively, by definition, murder.
CEO killer. So RJ, I'm glad to speak with you again. As things happen here, it's so important to have your input and insight because you know him better than well, many. I mean, most people that were close to him. So when you see the video of your friend Luigi shouting, entering court today to face these charges, you know, and he was basically resisting and he's fighting and he's screaming out.
Based.
What do you think when you see that? Is that in any way the person that you know?
I'd like to comment on the video of him giving his valedictorian speech.
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
Thoughtful, humble, good listener. That's the Luigi I knew. Somebody who could lead a conversation, but at the same time listen more than he spoke. Somebody who, you know, really cared about those around him and had a larger mind that was socially conscious. Somebody that was.
I love the attempt to make it sound like he was this guy who was like a great dude and then he did a horrible thing. And it's like, who is this for? Let's read the comments. Let's read the comments and see what the response is like. If celebrating a CEO's death is sickening, then what is it when a CEO is celebrating with his millions of profit upon the death of his erasure or upon the death of his insurer, I think is what they meant to say, which he denied. Give me a fucking break. The media needs to stop lecturing us on morality while they sit on their high horses enjoying their gold health insurance plans. The rest of us suffer. I'm so tired of people telling me how I should feel about our crappy healthcare in this country. Don't tell me how to feel. Corporate media is the worst. Luigi killed one CEO. That CEO killed millions. A society that doesn't take care of its sick is a sick society. Poor people get lectures on how immoral it is to unalive health insurance executives, while those same executives are actively trying to kill their customers. He actually doesn't sound mentally slow or lost. He sounds like he is just sick and tired of the crooked system we are all tired of. Who is the real criminal here? He's doing his job, quote unquote, killing his customers for profit as a job? MSM during a school shooting. Well, nothing we can do. Thoughts and prayers. MSM during when a CEO is killed. This person is an absolute monster. Seems like Luigi killed a killer. He was just doing his job, quote unquote, said the governor. His job was to deny care and live like a king. I have no sympathy. They're trying to so hard to spin the story like he's a monster. Luigi didn't F over millions of people's loved ones. It seems Luigi has started a revolution and the ruling class is terrified. I don't know about that, but I love how the media tells people how they're supposed to feel about events. Moral indignation from a media giant shielding a literal genocide. Rich. Doing his job was denying as many claims as possible, which is by extension murder. The guy who died is responsible for significantly more death and pain, no doubt. Face it, the only thing the CEOs will do is raise prices and deny more claims to offset the cost of their extra protection. The CNN wanted to villainize him so badly and uses his friends and family to do it. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, you name it. All are here to defend the 1% ruling class and keep you in line. The more you lecture us on how to behave and think, the more we appreciate Luigi and everyone like him. Stop the suppression. Social media isn't defending a murderer. They are fighting an oligarchy. I see what Aaron is doing, asking about his romantic life, is trying to paint him as an unhinged incel. Oh, really? Do they try to do that? Classic media character assassination. No shot. Do they try to pin this dude as an incel?
It's just good to me and the other people that we live together with at Surf Break.
And so, you know, and I know you've talked about that's the person that you knew, obviously not the sort of the anger and the rage that we saw today. And you said you didn't see or hear any anger or rage, even when he was talking about things like capitalism or housing or healthcare, things that he was had criticism for, but that it was an intellectual sort of criticism, as you described it to me before. He had posted a review for the Unabomber's manifesto online, and that's been available for a while for people to see, right? And I know as part of the book club that he had started with you at Surf Break.
Can I just say, I hope his mom is proud of him. I hope she gets it, you know? Like, I hope she's like, really, I wish she hadn't done that, but also, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
break, he had also put the Unabomber Manifesto as something for that group. What did he say about that at the time?
Oh wait, they're asking about his opinion on the Unabomber? That's funny.
We had a lively discussion about the manifesto as a group, a collective discussion, but nothing about it, I think, stood out more than other conversations that we had. And, frankly, I think after reading and skimming part of it, I don't think the ideas in it were that original in terms of, how we're destroying our planet and how we need to reevaluate our systems. So nothing about that conversation stuck out. He wasn't upset. He wasn't angry. I've never seen him upset or angry even. Definitely would put him in the chill, nonviolent category of people.
So last night, when we spoke, you talked about his back and how much that was just weighing on him and the pain, and that even a basic surfing lesson kept him in bed for a week. He had to get a new mattress. And police are now saying they think that back pain may be central to what happened here.
Well, yeah, no doubt. He's a young guy who had chronic back issues, and something that could have easily been fixed with medical intervention, giving him a full future and life of being... He was clearly a very outdoorsy guy who liked to explore and travel and do active things, and he's a young guy. He's attractive. He's young. His life is ahead of him, and he's got chronic back issues that are a massive problem for him. And he was probably denied... He was probably denied a claim. He probably tried to... get his back fixed up. Westside Tyler had back pains too. Yeah, Westside Tyler, I think, received an injury during his time in service that led to his back pains, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I'd heard from chat. And he's dealt with back pains for a while, and if I'm not mistaken, he raised the money through streaming for it, because this shit's hard. Paying for this stuff is fucking hard. Getting the coverage for this shit is hard. And back pain sucks, bro. I've got minor back pain because I slipped a disc when I was young doing something very, very stupid. It's so stupid, it's embarrassing to say. I was 8. I was at a daycare type thing that was just this big gym where you had a basketball court, there was a playground, just a lot of physical activities to do with other kids all day while my mom was working during the summer. And so I was there, and I was in the basketball court area, and for some reason, probably because I was doing so much exercise that summer, I thought I might be strong enough to lift about a 20-foot long, 10-foot tall metal bleachers. I don't know why I thought I could lift it. I think I thought if I just really pushed, I could. No pain, no gain, right? And so I went for that shit. And then something in my back popped. And then I was on the ground, screaming at the top of my lungs. I don't recall moving much. By the time my uncle got there to pick me up, because he was the only one off work, he took me home, and I was curled up in a ball, because I couldn't uncurl. I was in fetal position. I was stuck there in the back seat. And I got to his place, and I just laid in the fucking on the couch. And then eventually I went over to my grandma's, and my grandma got me a heating pad for my back, and over it took months before I started to feel better enough that I could run around and be active again. But I would always complain about this to my mom. And as an 8-year-old, when your 8-year-old son is complaining about back pain, it can kind of be hard to believe, I think. Why not to the hospital? Why do you think that guy shot the CEO? I didn't grow up with money. Anyway, so basically, my mom didn't believe me that my back pain was so bad for a while. But for years and years and years, I always told her I want to at some point jump on a trampoline, because for some reason I just never jumped on a trampoline before. And so my mom took me over to a friend's house, and he had a big ass trampoline in the yard. And I was like, oh my god, I'm finally gonna get to jump on my friend's trampoline. And I ran up. I was excited to jump on it. My mom was like, you finally get to jump on one. Do it. See how fun it is, right? And I get in there, and I do a couple hops. I'm like, I can't. I gotta stop. And I got off the trampoline, and I just sat down next to my mom the entire rest of the day. And that was when my mom finally realized, see, you're not exaggerating or making shit up about this back pain thing. You really wanted to go on that trampoline, and you 2 jumps and you're done. But yeah, I had a minor back pain thing when I was younger due to that. It's mostly better now, but I still get like recurring shit from sitting for too long. Got to walk around, stand up every once in a while. Streaming can get a little back painy for me for sure. But man, I can only imagine like that sucks. But whatever the fuck Luigi had was probably worse based on the X-rays that were getting shared around. He had like plates in his spine and stuff. Like that's way worse than what I had going on. But man, I had a bad back for a while because of that, and I still do. But man, it's so much better now that I don't complain.
Curious, though, when you talked about his social life a bit, when you and I had that conversation, we didn't get to talk about the implications of the pain that he was going through. Did he date when you knew him? Did he talk at all about his romantic?
So yeah, they did go for the incel angle here. He was just an incel terrorist angle.
Romantic life?
You know, if you are in severe pain on and off, it's obviously going to affect all aspects of your life. You know, out of respect for his privacy and for the surf break community privacy, I don't want to comment at all on his dating or any of the other members dating while we live together.
It's an extremely invasive question too, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mean whether they were dating. I just mean I know that.
Yeah, mountain bike, I know, but I'm pretty careful. I think I'm fine.
You know, you've talked a bit about the you know, how the back pain that he had could have made it impossible for him to be physically intimate, and that this was something that may have been frustrating for him.
What the fuck? What? Oh my God! She's cringing at the fact that she has to say this. They have a gun on her right now, and she's cringing and upset at the fact that they're making her say this over at CNN. The execs have her at gunpoint right now. You can tell. And he knows.
As they try to understand sort of what he was going through, do you think that this could end up being something important?
He was a sciatica cell, guys. He was a fucking back cell, a spine cell, a vertebra cell. I don't know what word you'd use for this.
I think that pain is something that can change our brain chemistry.
All right. In 30 plus years, when he gets out from his no doubt massive sentence he's going to get for first-degree murder, because they're going to make an example out of him, if he ever gets out, I think they're going to hit him. Because this is going to be like the 1%'s big message to the American people to settle the fuck down. They're going to make as much of an example as they can out of this guy. You'll notice that like the legal system has been running about 100 times faster for this guy than it did for Trump. For instance, really good example of what kid gloves he was treated with to see like how quickly this system moves forward when like the oligarchy gets hurt. He killed someone rich, so they're throwing him underneath the jail? Yeah. He's going to be made an example of. He's going to be made into a message to the American people to settle down and never do anything like this again, or you'll end up like him. They're probably going to put him away for the rest of his life, and they're probably, although it's New York, right? Is it New York or New Jersey? I don't know. Which state is it that they want to, that he's getting extradited to? Regardless, they'll probably go for the death penalty if they can. I don't think they can in New York. Oh, they can't? Okay, it's New York, so they can't. If it wasn't New York, they would almost certainly go for the death penalty. There's no way they will find 12 jurors who will convict. They will, Stella. They can. There's plenty of dumb fucks out there that get all like, oh no, all death is bad. Like, those will be the people that get brought in. Yeah. God. What a depressing twist of the story. America's hero has fallen. Many such cases. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like and a comment. Every single thumbs up and comment on my videos and streams is immensely helpful in boosting my stuff and getting it out to a wider and larger audience. Really means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. Same goes for everyone who hits the sub button and rings the bell icon to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. Thank you to everybody who does that. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, consider following my social medias, which are all linked down below in the description, including my Blue Sky and my Discord server. Highly recommend you consider joining that. And of course, if you haven't already and you feel like it and you can afford it, consider supporting me financially maybe by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buy some merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.